Welcome back to the Near Dark Podcast, episode 9. This time around we're going to talk about two of the giants in the slasher subgenre. John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978 and its sequel, its first sequel from 1981. But before that, let's welcome the trick-or-treating crew. Tagger, how are you doing?
I'm good. Just got home from work, so excited to finally get home and start recording.
Are you excited about this double bill as well, or?
Oh yeah, totally excited. Can't you hear it in my voice?
No, not really, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do a better job at being excited.
Angel, how are you doing? Brain fart.
Stroke. Big stroke. Fine, considering that I watched one of the shittiest movies ever before we started this. Still a little bit traumatized.
Okay. Are you excited about this double bill then?
Oh yeah, I've been excited for it. Halloween is a great movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before we get into the first movie, Ogge, how are you doing?
Better than Angel, at least.
Not having strokes over there.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
It's coming. It's coming.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm excited about. I'm excited about this episode.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys want to do recently seen, or should we just get straight into the first one, or?
I have a little bit from recently seen, but if you guys want to skip it, I'm fine with it.
No, go ahead.
Alright. I recently saw The Collector and Late Phases, Night of the Lone Wolf, both on Shudder TV. Shameless plug for Shudder TV, because why the hell not? It's a it's a streaming site mainly for horror and thriller movies. But I'll get into The Collector. It's basically like a home invasion movie, kind of, sorta. A robber tries to break into a house that a serial killer is already booby trapped, and it's kind of like a torture. Well, it's kind of similar to Saw in the respect that of it's like a little bit of torture porn here and there. But aside from that, it's just I'd say it's a good movie. Maybe like 6.5, maybe 7 dead bodies hanging from the ceiling out of 10. Late Phases Night of the Lone Wolf was a kind of like a werewolf movie, but the transformations for the werewolf was like a whole lot. I want to say gruesome, but like it was a lot different than how you normally picture it. Instead of the person just like growing hair on top of their body and growing out their fangs and like the ears just becoming pointy, it's more like a beast from inside the person just rips its way out of human flesh into existence. And the plot about that is an old war veteran, an old blind war veteran, I should say, is dropped off into a new, not nursing home, old person's community, where there's been like killings of dogs, of random people, just like outside of his residence. And after his dog gets killed, he starts getting on patrol to see what's going on. Kind of interesting, kind of boring at times. Subplot is between the father and son. They don't really see eye to eye that well, but towards the end of the movie, they kind of get a better understanding of one another. I'd say it's about 4 or 5 dead werewolves out of 10.
Okay. I've seen The Collector, and I've seen the sequel to that one as well, The Collection. It was a couple of years ago, but I like both of them. And you mentioned Saw. The reason the movie got some torture porn-ish things in it is because a bunch of the producers of the Saw series produced The Collector and The Collection as well. So there's a connection between those movies. What did you say the second one was called?
Late Phases Night of the Lone Wolf.
I think I've heard about that one on another podcast. I'm not sure, but I haven't seen it. Angel, Ogge, have you guys seen any of these movies?
No, I haven't seen them.
No, I think I've heard about The Collector, but I haven't watched it. It's kind of one of those, I'm going to watch it later, forgets about it, finds out about it again, I'm going to watch it later, and then that loops a few times.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you had some recently seen.
Yeah, I had a bad and a good movie. The first one was the bad one. It's Disturbia.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I haven't seen it recently, but I remember enjoying it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a bit too slow. Like, not a whole lot happened in like the first, pretty much the entire movie.
It was a real slow burn, then.
Yeah, well, it gets really suspenseful towards the end, but I had lost all attention of the movie. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think it's a remake from a really old movie.
Yeah, I recognize the title, but I can't.
Yeah, I recognize the plot in a way.
Okay.
From some old movie. It's about, a guy who gets grounded and then he suspects his neighbor is a serial killer.
Here we go. It's It says it's partially inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window from from way back.
Yeah, like the 60s, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You had seen it as well, Tiger.
Yeah, I haven't seen it recently, but I think I saw it around the time it like probably hit DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like a few months to a year after it came out.
Oh, okay.
I think I enjoyed it mainly because it was a Shia LaBeouf movie, and at the time I was still a kid who was into Even Stevens and anything Shia LaBeouf related. So I was happy as a clam. I agree with Ogge. It was a really slow movie, but I think I feel like that was the whole point, since it's like you're not really sure if the bad guy is the bad guy or if they're just like snoopy teenagers being stupid. The hell of it. But like I said, I did enjoy it. I'd probably give it like 5 Snoopy teenagers out of 10.
Okay. Well, the movie that I liked that I've seen is called Hush. It's a home invasion movie, and there's a girl that's completely deaf, and there's a killer trying to break in her house and kill her, pretty much.
Isn't it a? It got some slasher leanings in it as well, like like stalking scenes and.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen it, but I've got it on my to watch list for like 3 years or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched that one actually when it was new on Netflix. Surprisingly good, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a simple and effective movie. But that's the best way to describe it.
Okay. All right. Were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Good. Angel.
Damn.
Yeah, I have brain fart. I've actually watched quite a few movies the past 2 weeks. Briefly counting it up. I am probably having a stroke again. This is depressing. I can start with 3 ones I watched like this weekend. Is it called The House or is it just House?
House of 1,000 Corpses.
Thank you. Surprisingly good, and as Josef told me when I said I was gonna watch it, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre on crack, and that just makes it better. And I watched Devil's Reject, the follow-up. Not as good, like I got to see it on YouTube with like, gory movies, and I was like, eh.
Oh, I think Devil's Rejects. That was one of Rob Zombie's movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah, these 3 I'm talking about is Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah. I think Devil's Rejects was probably my first movie of his that I saw. I didn't understand the plot at all. I thought it was like maybe a motorcycle gang movie that somehow become horror related, but
yeah, no, you have to watch House of 1,000 Corpses to understand the plot in the second one.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is that most people think that the Devil's Rejects are better than House of 1,000 Corpses.
No, Chase head and shame. Poor people. And then I watched again, another Rob Zombie, the third Rob Zombie movie, The Lords of Salem. And here I just want to say, no, I do love his music, and his music videos are fine. They're good sometimes. But I'm gonna say, please stay at music videos. You can't do movies.
So
Now I watched like 5 of his movies because I watched his Halloween movies, the remakes.
remake and its sequel.
Yeah, this spring, and I mean they were fine, but I didn't want to classify them as Halloween movies. If they had their own story and shit, they would be way better. Continuing on, unwatched. Let's see. This one is from '97, I think. Anaconda.
Yeah.
A lot of people say
Jennifer Lopez and yeah. Continue.
yeah.
It's just Jennifer.
Well, there were a bunch of pretty well-known actors in that movie. I can't remember which ones. I haven't watched the Anaconda movies for almost 10 years now. So
it was my first time watching it, and no, I do not recommend watching it. I will never watch it again. And
Why not?
Please, no. It's so bad.
So,
but that's my opinion, really.
So you're saying you're not gonna watch the sequels?
Fuck no. As I told someone else, I would rather hang myself than watch them.
Okay.
And then we go to an actual good movie,
Oh,
Coraline. I believe this one was released 2009.
the animated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not gonna bother with the backstory or anything, but it's I think like third, fourth, fifth time something I rewatched it, and it's gone from it's super good to fuck this shit is bad to back to yes. So it's a solid like 7 out of 10 dolls. And I think that.
Have any of the other
there's-
guys seen any of these movies?
I probably watched Anaconda when it was new,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but that was like 21 years ago.
yeah,
When Ogge was young.
yeah, exactly.
Before Ogge actually got a beard and became a man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Before he became the man he is today.
yeah. Back then I liked it, but now I'm bitter, so I hate it.
Yeah. Same. It's like the older you get, the more bitter you get. It's like, no. The last one is Hard Candy.
Is that really a horror movie?
I believe it's a thriller movie, actually.
Oh, okay.
I can double check actually.
I'll talk about it.
So this girl starts to underaged one starts talking with some guy, and the typical guy hits on girl online that she's underage. It's like, oh, do you want to become a model? I think it's released 2005, and I think it's like around that time it was a big thing with older men asking like 14, 15-year-olds if they want to become models, ending up raping them and stuff. So I think that's why they made the movie.
Could you say the title again? My internet.
Hard Candy.
Oh, I think I saw a little bit of that.
Drama thriller. It's kind of like 5 out of 10. When you watch it for the first time, it's probably gonna be good, but then when you rewatch it, you see everything that's wrong with it. So, yeah.
Are you spent?
Huh?
Are you spent?
The fuck is spent?
Are you done?
Then fucking use the proper English!
Spent is proper English.
No, fuck you.
No, spent in English, at least in American English, spent's usually used for when like somebody's tired. Oh, I'm so spent.
Huh.
But
Well, I'm asking her if she's tired.
Fuck you!
Of course, she has had several strokes.
Yeah,
that's why she's called Angel.
Yeah, as I said before I actually started talking about Hard Candy, this is the last one. So yes, I am actually done.
Oh.
You can roll the trailer.
No, we still got one movie left to talk about.
No, fuck that.
Well, me and Angel watched a made-for-TV movie called The Sandman, and it's starring Tobin Bell and I can't remember what her name is, but she played Tina in the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's about this girl who somehow has made her nightmares become true, which manifests in a creature called the Sandman, which is some sort of for kids horror story or whatever. I can't really remember. It was pretty typical for made for TV kind of movie. It wasn't really anything special. I don't think I'd rewatch it, to be honest, even though Tobin Bell is in it. What did you think about it, Angel?
Well, yeah, it's Sandman is based on a child's story, and it's awful. It's just awful. You can really see that it's directly to DVD film that would never touch the theaters. And as a very big fangirl of Tobin Bell, even if I would never watch it. I would never touch it. I'd rather die. It sucks. Even though Tobin does fucking amazing, but he always does so.
Yeah, Tobin Bell was really, really good in it, but that's about it, basically.
Yeah, that's kind of like 15 minutes of this is good, and the rest is someone pissing in your face.
I don't think you even were in the movie for 15 minutes, but I thought the creature effects were pretty good in it, and the CGI sucked ass, but besides that, the effects were okay, I guess.
Yeah, I can agree on that. The creature was actually really well made.
And besides the Sandman, I just rewatched all of the Halloween movies up until Rob Zombie's sequel to his remake.
Like a gigantic nerd.
Yes. I think it was the 5th time or something I rewatched all of the movies in a row, like in just a couple of days. But yeah, that's what I've seen. So, are we gonna jump into the first Halloween then?
Yeah, let's.
Oh, I was thinking we just end the recording here.
Yeah, this is the episode.
Yeah.
All right. So, here's the trailer for John Carpenter's Halloween.
Halloween night. A small American town. 15 years ago. Michael? Halloween.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. I think he'll come back.
Exploring uncharted territory.
Totally charted.
Just talk.
Sure. The only reason she babysits is to have
Halloween.
Okay, Linda.
Come on out. Halloween. The night he came home.
The year is 1963. Halloween. Police are called to an otherwise unremarkable house in the small and quiet suburban town of Haddonfield, Illinois, only to discover that the 15-year-old Judith Myers has been stabbed to death by her 6-year-old brother Michael. After being locked away for 15 years, Michael breaks out on the night before Halloween, 1978. He returns to his hometown to continue on what he has started. Hot on his tail is his psychiatrist, Dr. Sam Loomis, who might be the only one who knows how dangerous he really is. Meanwhile, Michael is silently stalking a group of teenagers of whom only one will survive to see the day break after Halloween. So, Halloween. It's one of those kind of movies which has been dissected to death, and what can you really say about it that hasn't been said about a million times before? I think it's a great movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time, and stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, let's use.
and
stroke hit hard this time.
Yeah, no,
I don't think he's coming back from this.
I'm fucking blank. Jesus Christ.
Stroke it. Stroke it real good.
This is the whole podcast.
Yeah. No,
It's like a Beavis and Butthead episode.
Oh Christ!
Oh Jesus Christ! So, Halloween. Well, this is the kind of movie that has been dissected to death, and what is there really to say that hasn't been said about a million times before? I think it's a great movie, and 11 out of 10. And I think it's more chilling than scary, especially during the first hour or so into the movie before Michael starts to hack, or starts to kill off the teenagers. The music makes the whole movie, I think. It both builds tension and atmosphere really well, even during the slower first half of the movie. And one of the best things with the movie, and basically up until Halloween 6, is Donald Pleasence as Dr. Loomis. Especially in the first two movies, he delivers some of the greatest quotes ever spoken on film, and his performance here is just brilliant. I really love his performance in the first two movies. The Halloween theme, it's one of my favorite movie themes of all time, and I actually think it's pretty haunting, especially the intro with the zoom in on the pumpkin, which I still think it's still really, really effective even to this day. And even though I've seen this movie countless times, well, it's it's like I said, it's an 11 out of 10 movie for me, without a doubt, and it's probably one of my favorite movies of all time, even though I think it drags a little bit at a couple of points in the movie. I think the whole package is really, 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 really good, and it's one of the few movies I usually sit through the entire credits when the movie is over, just because of the Halloween theme. I usually just shut movies off when the credits starts to roll, but this is an exception. So, oh yeah, and Jamie Lee Curtis was a real knockout back in the day. So, the one I'm most curious about what he thinks is you, Tagger. So let's hear it.
I think it's probably because I'm older, and it's my first time watching it. It didn't really seem that scary. It had a lot of good moments, whether it just be like him stalking the teenagers, or him actually killing people.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's more chilling than scary. It's more like you know he's out there somewhere.
Yeah. I would have. I'd probably give it about a 9.5, almost a solid 10 out of 10. Only drawback was her friends. Her friends were annoying as fuck. Especially, I think she was a blonde, whatever the hell her name was.
Linda.
I think that was her. The one who was like, yeah, the one who got strangled by the phone.
Yeah, that's Linda.
Yeah, I think it's because I hate her that I especially loved her death. I probably hated her the most. Her friend, or her other friend, I guess she was more of the bookworm type. I really enjoyed her sarcastic humor after Jamie Lee Curtis thought she saw Michael behind the bushes.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Oh, he's there. He wants to ask you out on a date." all sarcastic. Like I really enjoyed that part. But she was the one who died in the car, right?
Yes, Annie.
Yeah. Her death was a lot more enjoyable than Linda's, sadly. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. It's definitely something I would have to watch again.
Nice. What do you think about it, Ogge?
Yeah, I also love it. I've seen the first one many times, and it's really chilling and suspenseful.
Yeah.
The part I actually like the most is when he's stalking them.
Yeah.
Because he's like really close by all the time, but it doesn't do a whole lot, like in the first part of the movie. And I think that's what's most suspenseful, because the first time watching it, you think he's about to kill him at any point during the movie. And yeah, it has a great soundtrack.
Yeah. The music makes the movie, basically.
Yeah, it's a big part of the movie's atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's a 9 or a 10. Maybe not a 10, but a 9. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of music, I guess you're a fan of the Halloween theme as well.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Angel, let's hear it. Okay, that wasn't what I was expecting, but okay.
Yeah. Keep that in the episode. No. Well, I was watching it with Zombie, who's never watched it, and that actually made it really, really much better. I think this is the 4th time I'm rewatching it, and so I watched it pretty late. And the first time I watched it, I never understood like what's going on. But now when I've watched it a few times, it's very enjoyable. It is high up there. It's up there with Jason and Freddy, as it should be. The theme is amazing. Like how it builds up is amazing. Curtis is fucking amazing. A death I like is I think it's called Billy or something, the guy with glasses, and how Michael comes back dressed up in a sheet. Because hey, everyone knows what's going on in the movie. I can't spoil it. It's amazing. It's just it's a fucking good movie. But as I said, watching it with someone who's never watched it made it even better. Because it kind of it felt like I was watching it for the first time again. So it's I think I said 8 for Friday the 13th, and I gotta place it alongside of there. So 8 dead babysitters out of 10. It's a very good movie, very enjoyable. I recommend everyone to watch it. Even if you already watched it, watch it again. Watch it 10 times. It's great. It's timeless. Yeah, that is my opinion of the movie.
Okay. So, talking points, even to me.
Yeah. Well, I prefer this over the Friday the 13th movies, especially Friday the 13th 1.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, yeah, I do.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate, or?
I'm still thinking if I really think so.
Okay.
It's better than the first Friday the 13th, anyway.
Hey!
You have to be very careful here. Otherwise you're gonna be unfriended, blocked. You're never gonna be talked to again by Josef, the biggest fanboy in here.
Okay, how about this? Anaconda is better than...
I think we just lost Ogge here. Angel. No, but I can see where you're coming from. Halloween is a great movie, and like I said, it's an 11 out of 10 for me. But at the same time, Friday the 13th is an 11 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I think the reason I like Halloween 1 over the first Friday the 13th movie is that the Halloween movie, it has a eeriness and suspense throughout the whole movie, and you're like at the edge of your seat the whole time, while Friday the 13th, it gets it almost gets boring at some points.
Yeah, well, Halloween is more about the suspense and the eeriness and the atmosphere, while the Friday the 13th, all of them basically are about the gore and the kills.
Yeah, it comes down to it comes down to effects versus atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tagger, Angel, your opinions about this?
I don't think I should give an opinion since it's my first watch. As far as comparisons to other horror slasher movies.
Okay. Angel?
Well, as I said, it's up there with Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. So there's nothing really to say. But, what's it called? Loomis, the Doctor. I didn't like him the first time around, but the more I watch it, the more he grows into being a good character. I like his how he talks about Michael. Like he's been treating him for 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's like the first, I believe it was 8 years, he tried to help him, and the rest of the years he tried to keep him locked up because.
But was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Exactly, that is. Yes.
He's a bad boy.
Uh-huh. Bad boys.
Says that not really. I have some comments about some scene.
What did you say, Tiger?
Naughty.
Christ. Besides that, I have some comments about some scenes, but nothing else really.
You want to talk about scenes?
Sure.
Tiger?
Okay. I think I would have to say my favorite scene is when Dr. Loomis is outside talking with Annie's dad. The
Sheriff Brackett.
Yeah, Sheriff, whatever the fuck. he just. I just love the way Michael just zooms past them.
Yeah, that was one of my points as well. It's pretty hilarious.
There we talk, real bad boys. They should just start a bad boys theme as he drives by, like the badass he is. I'm here, but you can see me.
Talk about killing the mood of the movie.
Oh dear.
Tiger's too old for this shit.
No, I'm just too old for you guys' shit.
Oh man.
What about you guys? As far as movie scenes.
Got a shit ton of them here.
So how about you go last?
Yeah.
Ogge?
I don't know why, but for some reason I like the scene where she's just looking out the window and she sees Michael standing there, and then she looks away and.
In the classroom.
No, I think she's at home.
Yeah, because I think she does that 2 times.
Yeah.
She does that
once at
3
school.
times, I think.
Yeah, it's when he's behind the sheets outside.
Yeah,
that's home.
Yeah. That scene scared the shit out of me when I was a kid for some reason.
I got a theory about that scene because she's looking at him and the camera changes so you see him, and then it changes back to Jamie Lee Curtis, and then it changes back where Michael stood, and he's gone.
Yeah.
My theory is that she didn't see him for real. It was just not an hallucination, but just her mind playing tricks on her. Because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever, that scene.
Yeah, because I believe she stares out the window the whole time.
Yeah, she doesn't look away or anything.
And it's kind of hard disappearing like that without actually being noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good scene. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense because she saw him before that, right?
Yeah.
Like he was standing right in front of her in the street, and then he, walked away into some bushes and disappeared.
Yeah. I think she had seen him 2 or 3 times before that scene. So she had started to notice him at least.
Yeah.
And she was scared in that scene. It's the scene when Annie calls her and just chews on something like apple or whatever. And it freaks her out. So that's my theory about that scene. You got anything else?
No, I don't.
Angel?
I have 2 scenes and 2 comments. Is when Michael comes out with the knife after killing his sister, and his parents comes like, Michael! And the look on his mom's face is kind of like, oh well, we fucked this one up. It's like...
I was thinking she had a face like a slapped horse. But,
like a slap. Yeah, no, that's kind of like how I saw that scene. Is, oh fuck, we fucked this one up. And Annie, when she dies,
I thought that scene was fucking hilarious. Her death face. I was laughing out loud this time I saw the movie.
My comment on that was, I would also kill someone if they made up some stupid song like that. No, please.
Annie's reaction just before she sits down in the car is pretty hilarious as well. She's like almost looking straight into the camera, and she's like, "Wait a minute, wasn't the car locked?" She's like 30 seconds earlier. She's like, "Oh damn, I need to get the keys," and then she just opens the door and like, "Huh?" It reminded me of a Looney Tunes cartoon. Did you have anything else, Angel?
No.
Okay. Well, I got a shit ton of things here. First of all, this movie must have the shortest sex scene ever in the history of films. It takes about 80 seconds from that Judith and her boyfriend goes upstairs until he comes down again. Like, talk about quickie. And the scene when Laurie leaves the key at the Myers house, when Michael is watching her through the front door. You guys think that may be the reason that, well, basically it kicks everything into gear, like the paths cross, and that's why he chose Laurie as his target. Well, at least until the second movie.
I have no idea.
Maybe.
I think that Michael Myers in the first movie, what makes him scary is that you don't have a clue why he's doing what he does. It's just a blank face. There's nothing there. Just like you don't know what's under the mask, why he's doing what he does, and like he didn't really have any motive to choose Laurie, besides that her path got crossed with Michael because of her leaving the keys at the Myers house, and he saw her.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you mean maybe at first you're saying at first he didn't plan on kill everybody, but when the paths crossed, he kind of snapped because he's insane.
No, what I mean is that he has been incarcerated for 15 years, he breaks out and heads back to his hometown to, well, kill people, basically. And for now, we're in 1978. We just got this movie. We don't know anything about the second movie yet. And you just have this mental patient returning to his hometown to, well, probably start killing people. And just because his path got crossed with this babysitter, he made her into his new target.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what do you guys think about that theory?
It sounds pretty plausible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good theory.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would have thought if it wouldn't have been for the second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, if you look at it to only be Halloween, we only look at, okay, there's no sequels, you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense, really.
Personally, I think this movie stands very well on its own legs. It didn't really have any need to get a sequel, to be honest. Like that final shot when Dr. Loomis shoots him 6 times and he falls from the balcony down onto the front yard of the house, and the next time you see the front yard, he's gone, and the Halloween theme kicks in, and you just hear Michael's heavy breathing. That final shot is just so iconic, and it still gives me goosebumps each time I watch the movie. I think it's pretty hilarious that Loomis has been standing around the Myers house for hours, like waiting for Michael to come home. And he has noticed that the car Michael stole at the beginning of the movie was parked like 100 meters away. That cracked me up this time I watched the movie. There are some funny scenes in this movie, even though it got a very, very heavy atmosphere throughout the running time, and it got a couple of pretty good scares, at least for the first time watcher, and the music is brilliant, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's basically what I had to say about it. And now
And okay, what happens next?
Do we have all scenes covered, or does anybody else have anything?
I didn't have anything else, no. Angel?
Nope.
I got one last thing, by the way. What do you guys think about the final chase scene and all of the false, quote-unquote, deaths of Michael during the final chase scene? Okay.
I kind of like the... in a way, I kind of like the final chase scene, but up until that point, there wasn't anything supernatural about the movie. But now, all of a sudden, he's freaking Jason Voorhees. Even though Jason wasn't invented yet, but still.
Well, there are some supernatural elements in this, even in this first movie, since Michael is basically the boogeyman. He is supernatural, but at the same time he's not. And in the later movies he became supernatural. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's got some voodoo helping him.
Okay, Chucky.
Did you have anything else to add, or?
I don't know, would you guys rather like it if it was just human, the first movie, and then like turned into some boogeyman in the sequels? Or Do you like it when he's that unstoppable machine?
I think honestly I'd prefer a mixture of both. He's like this unstoppable machine, but at the same time, you can, while you can't like actually kill him, you can like find ways to slow him down. As far as the final chase scene goes, I think I really enjoyed it, especially with the I think it was the end where Loomis shot him about 5 or 6 times through the I think it's second story window balcony or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
Angel?
Well, besides if you can look into it deeply, every time he kinda dies, or pretends to die, he's very dramatic. Yeah, as I said, I was watching it with zombies, so I was like, holy shit, he's dramatic when he dies. I cannot more than agree. It's kind of like, he's very determined on, I want to kill this bitch. That's kind of fun. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. I don't like this kind of like Jason vibe you get, where it's like, oh, he keeps on returning to life. I don't kind of like that. I like him more human. It's kind of just like he's very determined, and going a little bit more logical into it, there is actually a disease where you don't. You have to be born with it, where you don't feel pain, apparently.
Yeah.
So that might be the case. Well,
that's a really interesting theory. I've never thought about it, but that's a really interesting theory.
Yeah. And on that, he is pretty much a bloodthirsty psychopath, smearing on it even more. Because, like, if you're gonna look at psychopaths, they don't really stop for anything. But yeah, I remember this disease thing from a different movie. That's based on very much more logical things, and yeah, that might just be it, really. But yeah, I prefer him more human-like rather than like Jason, because I want to see Halloween as I guess a lot more logical movie, more psychological, rather than Jason, where he returns for however many movies, even in fucking space, being all super Jason and shit.
Uber Jason.
Yeah, it's like this really muscular bullshit in space.
Jaceminator.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
I'll be back, motherfucker.
I think I prefer Michael in the first two movies. He's just this silent, slow-walking boogeyman. He's like he got some supernatural elements to him, but at the same time he's just a very robust man. While in the later sequels, there has to be a supernatural angle to everything, since what's happened, because of what's happening in the second movie at the end, and the thing that he gets hurt and pretends to die. That's something Jason does in the 3 first sequels of the Friday series as well, while he's still human. Or is he? The final chase scene in this movie, however, I think it's one of the best parts of the movie, because it just keeps on going, and from the point when Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis' character, finds the bodies of her dead friends up until the credits, I think it's really nail-biting. Especially during the part when she's trying to get help from the neighbors, like she's screaming and knocking on their door, and they're like, "Oh, fuck her," and that's basically my thoughts about the final chase scene and the deaths, quote unquote deaths of Michael Myers in the first movie. So,
Yeah.
are we done with the first movie then?
Yeah, I'd say we are.
Okay. So, are you coming in after the trailer, Tagger?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, here's the trailer for Halloween 2.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. This man, he's not human.
Universal Pictures presents Halloween 2. More of the night he came home.
Who is it?
There was nothing within him, neither conscience nor reason, that wasn't even remotely human.
Some kind of a joke? I've been trigger-treated to death tonight.
You don't know what death is.
Janet, go tell Mr. Garrett we're having trouble with the phones.
There is no place to hide. He will always find you.
What's this? It's a Celtic word. It means the Lord of the Dead.
Mr. Garrett?
Halloween 2. More of the night he came home.
1978 Halloween. 6 shots ring out through the night in the small suburban town of Haddonfield, Illinois. A man in a white mask falls from the balcony, hits the ground, yet seconds later he's gone. Michael is still at large, and Sam Loomis continues on with his manhunt, together with the local police. Meanwhile, Laurie is taken to the hospital after she barely gets away from Michael's onslaught. Michael soon overhears the radio broadcast of Laurie being taken to the hospital and heads over there to finish this night once and for all. Okay. I enjoyed this movie, and I would have to say I especially enjoyed the end, with him walking through the hospital lit on fire. Probably the greatest exit to a movie ever, to just see him walk out on fire. I feel like a majority of the characters, even though this is a horror movie, were throwaway characters. They didn't add anything to the plot. They didn't really add much, if anything, to Laurie's aid or her her detriment. It was just, I felt like they were just there to extend the movie. As far as like comparing originals to sequels, I would have to say I enjoyed the original much more. Even if her friends were annoying as fuck, and even if the kids were annoying as fuck, I still enjoyed the original a lot more. I enjoyed the fact that they went for the stereotypical trope of the lazy security guard, and I believe it was the nurse, but I forget what her name was, who dies in the hot tub after being
the titty nurse. I think her name was Karen.
Whatever her name was, she's dead now. The way she's just like viciously drowned and scalded over her face was kind of fun to watch.
It's a pretty horrific death scene as well.
Yeah. All in all, I'd give it 9 bops to the head with a hammer out of I'd give it maybe 7, 8 bops to the head out with a hammer out of 10. What did you all think, Ogge?
I really liked it. It's up there with the first one. I can't really decide which I like better. They're both really good. I really like that it takes place right after the first one. The body count is a lot higher in this movie. I also like the scene where he fries her in the bathtub.
That's probably one of the most iconic scenes from this movie.
Yeah.
And the Baloobies as well, of course.
Yeah. The only scene I really didn't like was when he got shot in the eyes and was blinded. And he just started slashing right... Like, he knew where she was, but he still started, like, slashing right in front of him. Like, super mechanical. Like...
The thing is that if she had shot him in the eyes with a revolver, she had probably blown his brains out 2 times if it happened in real life.
And that. That too.
But okay, I gotta ask, what do you think about the music in this one?
The music in this one is pretty similar to the first one, except for the ending theme. That felt random.
Isn't it,
I was like, what the...
Mr. Sandman, the ending theme of this movie?
Yeah, it is. I looked that up, and it's called... I think it's called Mr. Santa, but they renamed it to Mr. Sandman. It's the same lyrics, but instead of saying Mr. Santa, they're saying Mr. Sandman.
Yeah, it got that Christmas feeling to it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the amped up synthesizer version of the Halloween theme in the beginning of the movie?
I like that version too. It sounds, in a way, it sounds better. It sounds a lot cleaner, but the original is more scary, I guess.
Yeah, more chilling. Like it's more what's it called? Subtle.
Yeah, it's because it's a lot. It's a lot harsher sound.
Yeah,
it gives it that chilly feeling. In a way, that makes it better. But then again, the synth in the sequel sounds cleaner and more high quality, I guess. But overall, I really like it. This movie, I'll give it the same score as Halloween 1 because I can't decide which one I like better.
It's a good double feature for you, then.
Yeah, it is. And I kind of like thinking of these 2 movies as one, and I prefer watching them back to back.
Yeah, it's like with the first 2 Wreck movies.
Yeah, exactly. Angel, what did you think?
I'm not a fan of it at all.
Are you not a fan of it?
No,
What?
I'm not a fan of it.
Why?
Controversial.
I don't know. I think if they kind of like did the 2 movies in one, I would like it more, because then it's like you have the whole movie going straight up. He is trying to kill her. She gets away. Okay, she gets to the hospital, but she still gets away. He keeps on trying to kill her. That would probably made me enjoy the movie more. It's okay, like the body count. Okay, fine, yeah, but I don't watch Halloween for the body count. I watch Friday the 13th for body count. I watch Halloween for the spooky feeling of someone stalking you. But that's just me. And I gotta disagree with the scene where he gets shot in the eyes, starts stabbing around and shit. For me, it's kind of like he has dedication. He's blinded and he still tries to kill her. Dedication. But also, like, we all see him getting blinded, but he can't fucking see in the 4th movie. Like, did you just kind of like, you know what, fuck it. He did not at all get blinded.
They did a eye transplantation on him.
Are you serious now, or are you just joking?
No, I'm sarcastic.
It's Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, we're not covering the 3rd one since, well,
until next year.
Yeah. But the 4th one, since the 3rd one bombed at the box office, and people were total morons, they wanted Michael back for the next installment in the series. The people didn't understand why Michael wasn't in the 3rd movie. So they had to come up with something for the 4th installment of the series, and they just like, no, they almost burned to death. He's not blind, and he's been in a coma for 10 years.
Yeah, so his eyes kind of recovered during the coma. It's like the power of whatever Chucky uses healed my eyes.
Getting contacts.
And I gotta say, the song "Mr. Sandman" is very enjoyable. I encountered this song in a Johnny Depp movie, like a lovey-dovey Johnny Depp movie, and when I heard it in this, I was like, I know this song. But I didn't know that it was coming from Halloween originally.
I think my first experience with the Mr. Sandman song was 6 heads in a duffel bag, 7 heads in a duffel bag, which was like a dramatic comedy kind of movie. It's fun. I really enjoyed the song.
Mr. Sandman.
Josef.
Huh?
The best one that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Did you have anything else to add to that, Angel?
I'm placing it as a 6 out of 10. Burned up hospitals. It only gets a 6 because of the body count. And the dedication of trying to kill her even when he's blind. Otherwise, it would be like a 4. I enjoy the first one way more. Tagger. Or did you say something about this?
About what? The second Halloween movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already gave my 2 cents. I think I gave it 6 or 7 hammers to the head out of 10.
Oh, right, yeah, you did. Okay, back to Joseph, I guess. This is how dedicated I am to the movie.
Yeah, we noticed.
Fuck you.
Ew, incest.
Ew, Tiger.
You're the
Fuck
one who
you
started
too.
it.
No, you did.
Lies,
Nasty.
you tell.
You nasty.
This is gonna be fun to edit.
Always.
Just leave everything in.
Oh boy.
I don't know why you haven't recognized by now. I'm consistently nasty. How dare you? How dare you not know?
No, you're not nasty. You're just very, very dirty.
That's the same thing. Just gotta
No, nasty is being gross, like a turd. Being dirty is slightly better.
For fuck's
Was that a compliment?
I think so. She likes me.
I actually think I'm gonna leave a lot of this in this episode, to be honest.
We've been telling you that. We've been telling you to leave shit in since the beginning of this recording.
Yeah, but he wants to take all the fun parts out of it.
Have you listened back to the Martyrs episode?
No, but I have friends.
I think I cut out like 4 minutes or something of the total playtime of that episode.
Yeah, but I haven't listened to it myself, but my friends has, my pancake friend and zombie has actually been telling me that the episode is one of the best so far. So yeah, I already know.
Wait a minute.
I don't have to. Yeah,
You call your
guy...
friends Pancake?
No, we met on a page called Pancake, so that's why he's Pancake.
Oh.
Because I'm a very bad person and I don't
Yes, you
remember
are.
names. Fuck you!
I'm just agreeing with you.
You are twat.
Anyway.
No, but yeah.
Anyway.
Back to the
Halloween 2. Yeah, I'm siding with my man Ogge on this one.
Fuck yeah!
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 Yeah! Yes!
I feel betrayed.
Well, the reason is that they couldn't have repeated the original in this movie. They had to up the gore and the body count, thanks to Friday the 13th, which was released the year prior to this one. So it's more of a tradition, well, quote unquote traditional slasher than its predecessor. I don't find this movie scary nor chilling whatsoever, but I find it more quote unquote fun than the first one. While I find the first one more chilling and more atmospheric. But I also find this one more flawed than the original. For instance, the hospital is populated by like 10 staff members, and Jamie Lee Curtis and 20 babies. So where's all of the patients? I still think Donald Pleasence is excellent as Dr. Loomis in this one, while Jamie Lee Curtis is somewhat wasted here because she's basically drugged up during most of the running time, and the amped up synthesizer version of the Halloween theme is, like Ogge said, it's awesome, but at the same time it's not as atmospheric and chilling as the original was. And I like that in both movies they've got Michael's age wrong in the credits, because Loomis says that his actual age is 21, but in both movies in the credits it says Michael aged 23.
For a second there, I thought you were talking about the age of Dr. Loomis and not Michael, and I was like, there's no way in that how that man looks 21 or 23.
No, I was talking about Michael.
You don't know. He might have been through some shit.
He's been living the hard life.
Yeah. That's what take care of Michael. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm gonna rate this one, I'd say 9.5 out of 10, I think. It's not as good as the original, but I think it's a very solid slasher movie. It got its flaws, but at the same time, I love slasher movies, and I don't really care if a slasher movie got flaws. It's something you have to accept if you're gonna watch a slasher movie.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents about the movie.
That's kind of part of the fun with slashers, though. The flaws.
Yeah, the whole subgenre is basically based on absurdity and bad movie making, basically.
Yeah.
Slasher movies usually not meant, well, they are meant to be scary, but they aren't scary. Most of the 80s slasher movies, you can't really take them seriously, to be honest. But that's not a bad thing either.
No, it makes it a lot of fun in a way.
Yeah.
I agree on the part where it's like, slasher films shouldn't be taken too seriously. But at the same time, I feel like if the flaws take away from the enjoyment of the film, then it's hard to want to go back and do it again. Like comparing it to a roller coaster, I think it was Final Destination 3 where they were on the roller coaster.
Yeah, it is.
And, yeah, like that roller coaster, for instance. That roller coaster had a lot of fucking flaws. I don't think anybody would want to ride that roller coaster. But it's just like the build up, the thrill, the ride. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if you feel like there's something, well, I wouldn't even say inherently wrong with it, but if there's something that you notice that's wrong or will end up going bad or do the film, I guess do the film badly. I can't really think of the right word. Disservice, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Do the film a disservice, then it's something that should probably be fixed in the next installment of it. But speaking of which, I think Halloween 4 was my first Halloween film. Huh. And I really enjoyed the hell out of that one. I think it was just because the little girl was dressed up in the clown costume, and I can't say no to cute little girls that are dressed up in clown costumes, running away from psychopaths. I just thought it was like adorable.
Speaking of which, the first Halloween movie I saw was Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, which is the 6th installment of the series. And it's probably my least favorite of all of them nowadays. Which one was your first? Okay.
The first one.
Oh, okay.
Angel?
The first one, since I actually started watching it just like a few years ago, when I was like 16, 17 something.
Cool.
Yeah, prior to that I haven't watched any one of them.
Yeah, but I can see where you're coming from, Tagger. But sure, there are examples of slasher movies that are just awful. You see them once and you barely want to finish them up. While there are others that are really, really, really flawed, but you get some enjoyment out of them because how bad they are. Like bad acting, bad effects, everything's cheesy, the dialogue is terrible, and so on.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's a fine line between making something that's flawed and something that's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Halloween 2 is bad. I'm just saying like it's a good film nonetheless, but I just don't think it's something I'd probably watch too often, I guess. Did anybody else have any more thoughts they wanted to put into their opinions for the movie?
No, we can jump into scenes if you guys want.
Yeah.
Let's start with Angel. Did you have any scenes that you thought were your favorites, or any characters?
No, somebody made a comment about like how he just walks through doors. He doesn't give a shit. Like the glass window is like, fuck that, walk straight into it. It's like, okay. Yeah.
I like that aspect with Michael in this movie. He just walks. He doesn't care what's in front of him.
Yeah, that's also dedication. He's just like, I'm gonna kill this bitch. I don't care what's in front of me. I gotta kill her. That's shit. Like, I wish I had that dedication. You know.
To kill that bitch.
Well. And. The scene where Loomis legitimately just blows up the room with
it's time,
Michael. It's kind of like he also lives. Like, is he also some kind of superhuman who's just like, oh yeah, I will survive just because like dedication to lock Michael up.
Yeah, that was something I was actually going to bring up too, because like, was Halloween 3 and 4 a different timeline? Because
Halloween 3 doesn't have Michael Myers whatsoever in it. It's a completely separate story. The fourth one takes place 10 years after Halloween and Halloween 2.
Okay, because I was going to say, unless they made like a different timeline, I didn't think there'd be no way in hell Dr. Loomis should be able to survive a fucking point-blank explosion.
In the beginning of Halloween 4, they explained that both of them almost burned to death. And when Loomis comes into Halloween 4, you see that he got burn scars on his face.
Fucking cop out.
Huh?
It's a fucking cop out.
Yeah, it is. But like I said earlier, people who went to see Halloween 3 didn't understand why Michael wasn't in the third installment, even though they blew the shit out of him in Halloween 2. They just wanted Michael back, so that's why he's back in Halloween 4. And with a shitty explanation of how he survived that explosion.
He's back. Back again.
No.
Michael's back.
No.
Hello, friend.
No. You put your Slim Shadys down. Put them down.
No, I'm gonna bring my Slim Shady all the way up. He's doing good shit.
Oh dear.
He's not as good anymore, but you know.
I don't know. I like I still like Eminem nowadays.
No, I liked his Slim Shady back in the old days. Much more.
I like his track Rap God. It's up there with the best of his, I think.
Yeah, isn't that like his
I haven't
newest
heard
one?
his latest album.
I've heard like 2 or 3 songs of it.
Yeah, I've heard of this track that he made. That was pretty brutal. Anyway.
Exactly.
On that bombshell.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you want to talk about about Halloween 2 and not the Slim Shady?
No. Let's bring Slim Shady in here.
Slim Shady is not in this movie, by the way.
What did you say earlier?
It's not in this movie, by the way.
No.
Maybe yes, we just don't know about it yet.
Yeah, maybe he's Michael Myers.
Oh, surprise!
He
When he got blown up, he's like, maybe this isn't.
Sorry.
He got blown up, but then he was like, maybe this isn't for me. I need a new job.
Well, the only thing
he kills you with lyrics.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think about is like the children. Like there was like 20 kids, and you get to see them for like maybe 2 minutes, barely, and then they don't exist anymore. Like why even have them there? Why show them?
In the hospital, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's one of this movie's quote-unquote flaws. Like I said earlier, the hospital is populated by like 10 staff members, Jamie Lee Curtis, and 20 babies. Where's all of the patients? It's like very, very, very deserted.
Yeah, and sadly, it's not like he goes and stabs the children just to kind of rise the body count.
I think that movie would have been boycotted if he started stabbing babies.
Yeah, maybe in that in the time frame where it was released. Yeah.
I think even nowadays that's pretty taboo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shh. It's 2018. Everything is accepted now.
Yeah, exactly. Except for a few things.
To be honest, if he started killing babies, I would have shut the movie off. I don't approve shit like that in a movie. If it's not if the title isn't a Serbian film, then I
Exactly. I was gonna bring that up when you were done talking.
Or Postal.
Shit.
Or Postal.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like they shoot like how many kids is it? Like 20, 30 kids?
No, I mean not kids. I mean like small babies.
Oh, okay.
What if they were big babies?
I think I would have been okay with that. Because you're a big baby.
Wow, how dare you? I'm a medium-sized baby. Thank you very much.
Well, technically, Leatherface is a big baby.
That's very true. Bubba is a big baby, at least in his head.
Bubba.
Yeah.
Bubba. A lot of people know about the game Dead by Daylight, and Face is featured in it, but the community calls him Bubba and not Leatherface. A lot of the community does. Yeah,
well,
Bubba.
Leatherface is retarded.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's a child in his head.
Wow, Josef, it's 2018. You can't just be calling people retarded.
What? He's Moving on. Did you have anything else to add to the scenes? Angel?
No!
Oh, okay. Sorry. Damn.
Somebody's offended.
Yeah.
I am very offended.
He's triggered.
We got an SJW over here.
No, I don't have anything else to add. That's about it.
Okay. Tiger?
Just the aforementioned of Michael walking through the hospital at the end scene, just in a blaze of fire, and the nurse being scalded and fucking drowned at the same time.
Yeah.
Probably like my two favorites. Ogge?
Well, I like the scene when it's walking through fire. That looked pretty awesome. Actually, when the hospital's on fire, it's a pretty cool finale, I think. Also, the bathtub scene. Like, there's no way you could power up a bathtub that will burn your skin off. Like, that's a shit design.
No, that's just a flaw in what's it called, in the design. It probably got pulled back afterwards. Like, oh shit, this lady burned to death in our bathtub. Let's pull back this design and rework it a little bit.
That's a really shitty design, especially at a hospital.
Yeah.
We lost Tiger again.
Yeah.
Continue on. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good prank you could pull on your patients, though. Like, nah, you just need to take a bath. Here, let me turn up the heat for you. I wonder how cold you can make it. Like, oh, it's too hot for you. Well, let me fix that.
That would have been pretty hilarious if he turned down the
temperature.
The temperature of the bath, and he just freezed her to death.
Yeah, he goes Sub-Zero on her ass.
Yeah.
All you hear in the background is fatality.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat 10 years before it was a thing.
Yeah. People at the time were like, what the fuck? Then like 10 years later they're going, oh.
Probably saw her death and was like, ooh, this gives me a good idea for a video game.
Yeah.
What?
Let's make a ninja out of him.
Did you have anything else for your scenes, Ogge, or was that all?
Not also.
Okay. Yo, so did you have anything?
Oh, I got a lot of things. First up, did anyone else notice that they fucked up the amount of times Dr. Loomis shot Michael?
At least I didn't.
In the ending of the first Halloween, he shoots him 6 times, but in the beginning of Halloween 2, he shoots him 7 times with a 6-shooter. That doesn't really make any sense.
Oh yeah, how they make the movies overlap in the end of the first one, starting off the second one.
There's an additional shot just before Michael falls down from the balcony. So it's 7 shots. I've counted them.
But maybe that wasn't a shot that was aimed at Michael. It was just some random shooting in the middle of the filming.
Yeah.
You see the flashes when Dr. Loomis shoots. The dialogue directly after that, when Loomis see that Michael's missing. And by the way, I love that there's a perfect form after a human body in the grass as well. It's like something from The Naked Gun or something.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when I saw that this time. But the dialogue directly after that, when Dr. Loomis and neighbor talks, and Dr. Loomis ends it with saying, "You don't know what death is," and then the theme song kicks in. I think that's the perfect start of this movie, or for this movie, and the continuation of the story that was left off from the first movie.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. That's awesome transition.
Yeah.
Definitely a killer line to start the intro with.
Yeah. It's a pretty iconic quote as well.
Yeah.
What do you think?
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of iconic quotes in that movie.
Yeah, and in the first one as well.
Yeah.
What do you think about this introduction, or the introduction of the movie, I know?
I don't know. It's I think they cut in too much from the first movie. Like they could have cut it down a little bit, because I don't think you need the part with the children running out screaming like little bitches and like all of that. They can cut it down a lot, in my opinion. But yeah.
I think it made sense that they had that part in as well, or else it would have just started with Dr. Loomis shooting Michael and. Well, I disagree with you. I think it's a perfect introduction of the movie, as it is, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, one of the most hilarious scenes in the entire movie got to be when Michael is stalking the Elrod's neighbor. You know, the old couple where he steals a knife. When he's stalking the neighbor, she's called Alice, who's talking on the phone, and I quote, "There was someone screaming next door. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Elrod. His wife's always picking on him. He probably got angry and decided to start beating her." I thought that line was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
like if that's okay. Like no,
well, who cares?
Like no, he probably started beating her instead.
There he goes, just beating his old wife again.
Yeah.
He's a tenacious man.
Tagger. What do you think about that scene?
To be honest, I wasn't paying attention. Kind of.
Oh yeah.
Just do like a little recap of what the scene was, and
you know the scene when you know the elderly couple where Michael steals a knife in the beginning of the movie, and he starts stalking the neighbor.
Yeah.
Who's talking on the phone, and she's and I quote, "There was someone screaming next door. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Elrod. His wife's always picking on him. He probably got angry and decided to start beating her.
Fuck. Like, I'm not sure if it was because I lagged out, but all I heard towards the end of that was he just got angry and he started beating on her. Like, what?
Yeah, that's the quote.
Oh, wow. Just wow. I have no words.
Okay.
I thought it was. It seemed. It was funny, a little silly, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most hilarious scenes in the entire movie. It makes me laugh out loud each time I see that scene. Yeah, and another hilarious scene is when Ben Tramer, the guy in the Myers mask, he crosses the street and is ran down by the cop, who drives the car straight into a van. And the cop who's driving the car gets out, and he's like, he came out of nowhere. Like, he's fucking driving straight down the street, and he's like mowing him down. That's a pretty hilarious scene as well.
Yeah. And the car explodes.
Yeah. It's yeah.
They really want us to know he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got run over, shot, exploded, and then struck by lightning. And then a sinkhole appeared and just swallowed everything.
Another pretty hilarious scene is when Mrs. Alves, the chief nurse, tells the nurse Janet to go and tell Mr. Garrett, the security guard, about the phone's not working, and she's like, but he's at the other end of the hall. I mean, how long is this hall that she submits that she has to walk down to the end of?
I mean, honestly, I don't blame her. Hospital hallways are long as fuck.
Yeah, but still. Oh, by the way, what the hell had that kid with the razor blade in his lip done?
I blame the mother.
Dagger.
Nah, it's because of the heavy metal.
The puns are flying here tonight.
Yeah. As you can tell, we're taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
You could say this time the child wasn't all that sharp.
Let's
It's
see.
like YouTube wasn't around back then.
What did you say?
It's like YouTube wasn't around back then.
Oh yeah, and the scene with the revelation about Laurie being Michael's sister ends on a pretty hilarious note as well, when Dr. Loomis shoots the side window and the car just makes a 180 spin and drives to the hospital. It's like in a cartoon.
Yeah.
I think he says something like, "You give a warning shot first, right? Boom."
Yeah. And then right after, it's like, "Do you trust me?" It's like, "Yeah." Yeah, just put that damn thing away.
Again, I love the stalk and slash portion of the movie as well. Yeah, I think it's great. And as you guys have already said about the ending when Dr. Loomis lights the lighter and like, it's time, Michael, and Michael comes walking out of the room, engulfed in fire, and the hot tub scene when Karen gets her face burned off by the hot water, and I think the scene when Janet gets the needle in the head is pretty good as well. When she finds the whatever the doctor's name was with an with a what's it called?
With a needle in the eye.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah, but I love that he's like illuminating out of the darkness.
Yeah.
It's just you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it just appears.
Yeah, and that's basically what I had written down.
Okay. I don't think we really need to go over any backgrounds or trivia, since Halloween's a well-known franchise.
I haven't dug up anything at all about either of these two movies because there are tons of documentaries and behind-the-scenes features on both DVDs and Blu-rays, and I think there are documentaries up on YouTube as well about both these two movies and the franchise as a whole. So
there's just too much to go over, and there's no point really.
Yeah, well, if you want to know anything about the Halloween movies, you can just search John Carpenter's Halloween 1978 on Google, and you get hours upon hours upon hours of information and background things and trivia and documentaries and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I don't really see any point in digging up stuff about these heavy hitters of the horror genre.
Yeah.
Alright. Who has the next pick?
Me.
Joseph.
Alright.
Okay.
Are you finally going to reveal what you have up your sleeves?
Mm-hmm. You guys would punch me in the face for this one, but...
Let the good people know.
Yes.
What good people?
The ones who are probably still watching us.
Watching?
Listening.
Listening,
I
watching.
hope they're not... Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, for our next pick, which is mine, we will travel to Sweden and back to 1983 with the quote-unquote classic slasher movie Blödaren, a.k.a. The
Fuck
Bleeder.
yourself! Fuck yourself! Fuck you piece of fucking shit!
Good night, everybody.
I do.
You should actually just end it there. That's a perfect ending.
I knew I get that reaction from you.
Well, I haven't seen it, so...
Oh, you're gonna kick my ass when you get here next time.
I can say I wasn't planning on watching it.
When Ogge comes up, you're like, hey, I'm outside, come out and take a smoke. And when Josef comes out, no. And no more Joseph.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Or even better, Ogge actually drives the car into the apartment just to...
Or maybe I like it.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
And the horrid actual feeling when he actually does genuinely like it.
I'm like, I really like this movie. The acting was great.
The storyline was the best shit ever. Oh,
Yeah.
Christ.
Anyway, on that bombshell, my next pick will be Blödaren, aka The Bleeder from 1983. And should we say goodbye to the good people then?
Yeah. Goodbye, good people.
Hopefully you guys come back for whatever the hell The Bleeder's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, we're fucking hilarious. I think people will come back.
I pray.
You know, it shows up like minus 10 viewers. Oh man.
I'm mostly hoping that they come back after The Bleeder, but if they don't, then
Anyway, bye-bye.
I don't know. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
ta.
Bye.